The first page of a new sketchbook is an exciting moment filled with endless possibilities, but it can also be quite intimidating when faced with that blank first page. Hi, I'm Omar. I'm an artist, illustrator and author. I help artists improve their skills by sharing my knowledge from filling 40 sketchbooks. I've got 5 helpful tips to lessen that fear of the first page. The expectation of producing something amazing on that first page can create a lot of pressure, but it doesn't have to be that way. This new sketchbook is the Hahnemuhle watercolour book, also known as the Academy Aquarelle. It's 200 GSM with 30 sheets, and the one I'm using today is A5 size. For a while I've wanted to keep a sketchbook just for my own study of the masters. That's artists I really admire like Van Gogh, Matisse, Hokusai amongst others. There are so many things we can learn from studying great artists, especially as they had far more experience than us and had already figured out a lot of things. Some of the things we can learn from Van Gogh can be applied to starting a new sketchbook, especially as many of us are rather anxious about this first page. One of the first things to remember is the fear that you feel is completely normal. It's a common experience shared by artists of all levels, whether you're just starting out or have years of experience. So let's dive into some of the strategies to help you overcome that initial intimidation and embrace some of the excitement of that first page. Tip 1. There are no mistakes. First and foremost, don't be afraid to make mistakes. There are no perfect sketchbooks. This might be difficult to hear, but artistic expression has to be messy because there is so much trial and error when you're pushing the boundaries of your skills. This mindset gives you permission to dive into the creative process with less fear of imperfection and allow your ideas to flow a lot more freely and authentically. By recognizing that messiness and making mistakes are not only normal but also a valuable aspect of artistic growth, you allow yourself the freedom to evolve. Making mistakes is a fact, and it's an integral part of any creative endeavor. It's much better to view mishaps as opportunities for improvement rather than failures. Each mistake becomes a valuable lesson, guiding you towards finding your artistic voice and refining your techniques. You learn to see setbacks as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. And mistakes become chances to problem solve and experiment with all kinds of different approaches. Van Gogh knew there was no such thing as wrong, no such thing as a mistake. There were just opportunities to try it out and see what happened. So view this first page as just the beginning of this particular part of your artistic journey. By embracing the mess, you let go of the need for everything to be neat and tidy from the beginning. Tip 2. Stay in your comfort zone. Taking the pressure off when starting a new sketchbook is crucial to overcoming the fear of the first page. One effective way to achieve this is by staying within your comfort zone for this first page. When you stick to familiar subjects or techniques that you enjoy, you tap into that sense of familiarity by choosing a subject you're comfortable with, whether it's a favourite object or a simple still life. You lessen that anxiety of tackling something completely new. You'll feel a lot more relaxed and focus more on the joy of creating rather than worrying about the outcome. At various stages of the sketching process, it's always a good idea to take a step back from your page, take a few breaths and assess what has happened and what you'd like to do next. Even if it's only for 20 or 30 seconds, that time will help you consider your next move. I'm going to be using these Kuretake clean colour real brush pens to work on top of this watercolour layer, and I will also be using some Luminance coloured pencils as well for extra texture. Once you've warmed up with familiar subjects and techniques, you may find that your confidence grows and you're more willing to step outside your comfort zone in the following pages. As you gain momentum and become more comfortable with the sketchbook, you can gradually start to explore new subjects, techniques or styles. I had already done a Van Gogh study in a previous sketchbook, so I was already familiar with the way he adds movements and has areas that he fills with strokes, which you'll see later on. Tip number 3, keep it private. Keeping your sketchbook private can give you the freedom to explore without the pressure of judgment. This means treating it as your personal sanctuary for creative exploration. When you keep your sketchbook private, you can create a space free from external expectations or comparisons. It's a judgment-free zone, so you can experiment without the fear of others seeing. Remember, your sketchbook is a personal space for you to nurture and develop your creativity. It's not about impressing others or seeking validation. I don't think Van Gogh waited for inspiration to strike. He just seemed to sit himself down every day and work, whether it was sketches or drawings or paintings. He never stopped. He said, "I'm always doing what I cannot do yet in order to learn how to do it." I have been to his museum in Amsterdam and he was just phenomenal. When I saw some of those individual brush strokes, some of them are so thickly layered on and roughly applied at the edges, it was quite a revelation. Remember, at the time, nobody else was really working like this. He was a bit of an outlier. And I love that quote from him. He said, "I dream of painting and then I paint my dream," which I think is so beautiful. Tip 4, set realistic expectations. This is essential when it comes to overcoming the fear of the first page. It's crucial to understand that not every artwork needs to be a masterpiece in a sketchbook. Don't think because you spent $20 on a sketchbook you should immediately create flawless, gallery-worthy artwork. Why would you place such immense pressure on yourself? This can actually stifle your creativity and breed self-doubt and even stop you from starting in a sketchbook at all. Remember that first page is just one piece of a larger artistic journey. It's natural to have room for improvement, especially at the beginning. Put this initial first page in the context of your entire length of your creative journey. It's only a small, tiny part. Which brings us to point 5, focus on exploration. You can help set realistic expectations for your first page by shifting your focus towards exploration and experimentation and reduce the unnecessary pressure and start to enjoy the process. The inside of your sketchbook doesn't need a filter. We don't really live in Instagram land. Free yourself from the burden of perfection and allow your creativity to flourish. Remember, the joy lies in the journey, and each page is a valuable step forward in your artistic evolution. Give yourself permission to focus on the process rather than the outcomes. So let's emphasize this act of creating with the joy of experimenting with different techniques and the pleasure of simply expressing some of your ideas. View this first page as just one step in your growth rather than a measure of your artistic ability. Your abilities do not stay static, they will always grow. Van Gogh never seemed to stop working. I think once he decided to be an artist, he took himself from a fairly mediocre student to a master by sheer act of effort and will. He just kept working and working until he got to where he wanted to be artistically. I think in the end he produced an average of 4 works of art a week for a decade, which is absolutely amazing. He used every single day to improve his craft, which is something I aspire to do. I want to quickly say something about social media. It has a mixed impact on artistic growth. On one hand, it can help artists gain exposure and we can connect with others. But on the other hand, there seems to be an emphasis on popularity and trends and also this instant validation, and I do think it has distorted some of our artistic expression and perhaps discouraged others from taking creative risks, which is such a shame. Finally, let's always celebrate the progress and the small wins throughout the whole sketchbook rather than seeking perfection or become fixated on that first page alone. Remind yourself it's a personal journey, a special space just for self-expression and growth. It's not a competition or a showcase for others to see. So release the pressure of judgment and embrace the joy of creating art that speaks to your unique perspective and voice. It's really essential to celebrate the process and not just the outcome. Acknowledge that your sketchbook is not just about the first page, but rather a collection of countless moments and ideas. So a visual diary of your creative exploration and a testament to your growth as an artist. My own artistic journey spans across 40 sketchbooks, totaling over 6,000 pages of creative output. When you consider the vastness of this body of work, the significance of those initial pages becomes more manageable and less intimidating. By recognizing that the first page represents only a small fraction of your entire artistic output, you free yourself from the burden of expecting perfection right from the start. Each stroke, each line, and each experiment contributes to your artistic evolution and adds to the richness of your creative journey. In this context, when viewing your sketchbook as part of continuous growth, it allows you to appreciate the progress that you've made over time. It reminds you that artistic development is a gradual process, and improvement comes with each and every page. So every page is an opportunity for exploration, learning, and building upon those lessons from previous works. Remember, the purpose of your sketchbook is not to produce flawless masterpieces, but rather to serve as a reflection of your artistic exploration at a particular point in your journey. Each page holds a story, a moment captured in time, and a testament to your artistic evolution. As you embark on your artistic journey with your sketchbook, know we are all works in progress. Allow yourself room for improvement, embrace imperfection as opportunities for growth, and celebrate the progress and transformation. Your sketchbook is a living testament to your artistic spirit and serves as a reminder of the incredible journey you are on as an artist. If you enjoyed this video, then take a look at what happened on the first page of this sketchbook. See how I managed to transform this into a happy accident with unexpected outcomes. Often they lead to new artistic breakthroughs, so embrace the messy, vibrant and dynamic nature of your sketchbook. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the bell icon to be notified when I release my next video. Also leave me a thumbs up and a comment with what is your greatest challenge when keeping a sketchbook. Until next time, stay amazing.